the McLaren 765 LT.
Gorgeous.
Unquestionably striking, and with the performance to match.
Absolutely. I mean, the 765 LT is both lightweight and incredibly powerful. Compared to the 720S, the model on which it's based, power is up by 45 horsepower and with a 30 Newton meter torque increase while reducing the weight of the car by 80 kilograms. And that's the LT formula, stripped out, track-focused, faster throttle response, and an enthralling soundtrack.
Yeah, and I know you love to get behind the wheel, and every opportunity you get, what is it like to drive?
Well, it's incredible. It's in some ways the finest driver's car we've done. But really, rather than hear from me, I think the best person to talk about the car and how the car drives is the man whose team have done the development work to perfect it. So why don't we bring him out here? Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome former Indy 500 winner, IRL champion and McLaren chief test driver, Mr. Kenny Brack.
Hey, Kenny.
Hey, my friend.
Hey, Kenny, good to see you. Very well, thank you. Very well. Tell us about the tell us about the processes Mike was just talking about, and what is it that sets this car apart?
Well, it's a long and intensive program, you know, to develop a car. And in the old days, developing was done through trial and error, by feel. Now, with more advanced technologies, engineering departments have a way of, you know, simulating a lot through the development program. But in the end, there's no you know, substitute
yeah.
for the human touch.
Yeah.
Because in the end, it's people who drives the car. So being a test driver is a little bit like maybe being a master chef. You sort of work with the engineering teams to blend these ingredients to come out with the perfect flavor and feel. That's what it is.
And what is it? What is that feel that you are looking to create?
Well, this is an LT model, and that's all about driver engagement, you know, and performance, of course. You know, lots of power, low weight. But the key to be able to use that performance is that the car needs to be able to communicate with you clearly, give you feedback to the driver. You want the car to talk to you and tell you what it's going to do before it does it. So it's not all about performance. It's about getting the linearity and the predictability. And when that all comes together, it's an amazing feeling. And that's an LT.
And that's sort of giving you the confidence to get that full potential from it. I mean, you're sort of giving me a very holistic sort of picture of all the ingredients coming together. Are you saying it's not just about power anymore? It's
not only about power, but power is obviously a very important part of it, you know. And believe me, this car has a lot of power, you know. But McLaren cars, they all have a distinctive character, each one of them. But the common thing is that they all drive well. They feel good behind the wheel. And at McLaren, we have a small team of development drivers, all very successful ex-racing drivers. And, you know, to win a race, to win a championship, you've got to have a winning car, and you've got to know what that feels like, and you've got to be able to help develop and set that car up to feel that way. So we worked really a lot with all the things that we can to blend this, and you know, steering,
creating that harmony that you're looking for. All those different elements. Just sort of take us through those different elements then.
Yeah, that's, you know, how the steering feel, steering response, how the car responds to weight transfers in pitch, roll, heave. Cornering balance, brakes, how the brakes feel, how they perform, throttle response, gearing, gear shifts. It all have to feel natural and seamless, you know, and that's an amazing feel, and that's what I think the 765 LT represents for us. So
I think it'd be fair to say that most people watching and most people in the room think you've probably got one of the best jobs in the world. Now, you and I were talking backstage about starting out life. You were encouraging me to get my kids into go-karting, and you're nodding. Looking at what you're doing now and what you've achieved and your job, the role that you play, could you have ever imagined, and what would you have said to that when you were a little go-karter starting out, that you were going to have one of the best jobs in the world?
Well, you never know what life brings, do you? But for me, this is a fantastic job. I've done 35 years of racing, worked with setting up cars, and it's a very creative process. I love that part. We're passionate about that, and so this is like to go into this role for me is like it's a second chapter. It's fantastic. It's a great place to be. McLaren is so passionate about the cars. I love it.
Yeah, and it comes across. And Mike, I know you're really excited about the potential of this car.
Absolutely. It's a tremendous car, and what Kenny and the team have done to develop it is phenomenal. I think what comes from Kenny and the team, largely racing drivers who you work with, is that understanding of what makes a car perform. That predictability, that linearity, that response, that engagement with the driver is just what shines through. And whilst we can engineer it all to perfection, it's really the final bit that's done by the drivers that makes our cars so special. It's why they feel so special when you drive them.
Well, Mike, Kenny, thank you very much indeed. This is going to become another McLaren classic, I think, is what you were saying to me a little earlier. This is your belief?
Absolutely. This will go on, without a doubt, to be one of the classics from McLaren. We're going to build exactly 765 of these cars. Every car will be individually numbered. And that means that everyone who is lucky enough to own one of these will be part of a very exclusive club.
Well, very exclusive indeed. Mike, Kenny, thank you very much indeed. Thank you everyone for joining us here at MTC from around the world via our digital live stream. From everybody here in Woking, the home of McLaren, goodbye.
Thank you.
Thank you.